Welcome to the Lose Weight, Live Life podcast. If you're someone who would do anything to lose weight, yet finds it impossible to stick to a diet, to eat less, or just what you think you should, this podcast is for you. I am your host, certified life and weight mindset coach Claire MACKENZIE. Listen in to learn how to stop overeating, lose weight for the last time, and create a relationship with food and yourself that you love, all without diet deprivation and self-sabotage. Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome to podcast episode number 105, Your One Life. Today I wanted to talk to you about your one amazing life and ask you to take a moment and check in with yourself to see if you're truly making the most of your one life's preciousness. Most of the women that I work with are women in midlife, so that's who I'm talking to on this podcast episode. That does not mean that what I have to say will not be valuable to you if you are in a different life stage. You may just need to be a little more creative in thinking about how the references I make and examples I talk about might apply to you. But I encourage all of you to think about your life, to think about what you would love to create. I've spent quite a lot of time in earlier episodes of the Lose Weight, Live Life podcast explaining why we struggle in our relationship with food and ourselves and our lives. I think that understanding our struggle is important so that we, firstly, know that it's normal. Secondly, we let go of any self-judgment and shame that we may have around it. And thirdly, let go of our frustration that we may have been doing up to this point because it's not getting us the outcome that we want. Knowing it's because of how we're wired as animals and humans can help us make peace with where we find ourselves. But ultimately, we may want something more than peace. We may want something more than acceptance. As a woman in midlife, it can be all too easy to assume that our best years are behind us. It's what society would have us believing. What's the perception of women in midlife and beyond in your workplace or in your wider circle? Even outside of the workplace, do you notice younger professionals talking to you in such a way that it occurs to you that they're maybe thinking you're not on the same wavelength as them? And maybe you'll wonder if it's because they're thinking you're old, or is that just me? Do you, as I did, when you were younger, when you were whatever age you were, when your parents were the age that you are now, maybe somewhat think that they were a little bit old? When we add our unconscious thoughts about our age to our experiences of everything age or menopause related, if we think about things like age-related deterioration of our eyes or our muscle definition or whatever you may notice, it would be easy to forgive ourselves for falling into unconsciously thinking, as I said before, that our best years are behind us. But what if they weren't? What if they're not? What if you are destined to be more physically and emotionally healthy than you have ever been in the years that are lying in wait for you? It's a destination that I've not only decided to create, but I've decided to look forward to. What do you want to look forward to? I'm 48 and I can step into the headspace of 50 sounding oh so old. And I can step into the headspace of thinking I am so excited that I'm going to live my best life in the next 30 years. 30 years or more, hopefully. That's a long time. That's the same as going from 18 to 48. Wow, if I think about it like that, in the last 30 years, I went from being in my last year of school to leaving home and working, to then going to university, to starting a career, getting married, starting a family, moving house multiple times, renovating multiple houses, living in amazing places, making amazing friends. And on top of that, I can add in traveling to exciting and beautiful places and think about all the holidays that I've had and memories that I have from precious occasions and celebrations. And now I get the opportunity to create many, many more of those amazing experiences in my life with all the wisdom and learning accumulated from my past 30 years to help me with my next 30 years. How incredibly exciting is that? It's not too late for you to be who you've always wanted to be. Or as George Eliot put it, it is never too late to be what you might have been. This will be a short podcast episode because I want you to do something powerful as a result of listening to it. If there is any episode where you take what you hear and immediately take action, I want it to be this one. As I said, it's not too late for you to be who you've always wanted to be. I want you to know that the version of you that maybe you want to be is already within you, and that now is the perfect time for you to set that version of yourself free, no matter what is going on for you right now in your life, because you have more wisdom and strength than you know. So if you're not driving, if you're able to right now, pause this episode in just a moment after I tell you what to do, because I want you to ask yourself, what would you love to do and have in your life? What would you love to do and have in your life? And I want you to write for at least 10 minutes on a blank piece of paper. And then when you've written everything down, I want you to read what you've written. And as you read it, I want you to imagine it. I want you to experience it, visualize it if you're a visual person, or focus on the words if that is easier for you. Either way, imagine you already have all that you want right here today. What if you had it already? What would the rest of your day look like? What would you be spending your time doing? What would you be enjoying if you already had everything that you want? How does living in that place, experiencing that feel? What are the feelings and emotions that you experience living in the reality of what you want? Write them down too. Now imagine feeling them in turn in your body. Notice what you're thinking as you experience them. This is what I want for you. This is what is possible for you. If you have thoughts that come up, limiting beliefs that shout impossible, if you have self-judgments and criticisms that tell you you don't have what it takes to create what you want in your life, then it means you're normal. Everyone who sets out to create more of what they want in their life feels doubt, fear, judgment, possibly overwhelm, and has thoughts of not being good enough. It doesn't mean that you're not capable of creating what you want. All it means is that you're human. Fear is going to show up, but what are you afraid of? Failing to create the life that you truly want to live? What if you fail at that? What will happen if you fail? Maybe you'll end up with the life you have right now. Sounds like you've not got much to lose. And by the way, you don't have to be unhappy in the life that you have now to want something more. You don't have to be feeling ungrateful or feel something is lacking about your current life to want more. In fact, I encourage you to both focus on what you love about your current life and focus on what you would like more of. I challenge you to spend a little time every day thinking about what you want to create in your life. I want you to think about what you would love to have in your life in 10 years' time, and what you would love to have or do in your life tomorrow, and everything in between. Taking time to really think about why you want what you want is to live an intentional life. The Google definition of intentional is to be done with purpose. What is your life purpose? What do you want your life purpose to be for the next decade or the next 20 years or more? What do you want your life purpose to be for the next 6 or 12 months? You have to decide what you want it to be before you can make it happen. I did this exercise for myself this week, and hence it led to me creating this podcast episode, because it really helped me to create a shift in my purposefulness. Whilst I believe that we can be intentional at creating what we want in our life, I personally, and I think others may find this too, think that sometimes doing that work is easier than it is at other times. Sometimes it can seem as though what we want comes really easily, and at other times it might feel a little bit like wading through treacle. And I think there's probably something useful in that treacle. I'm sure that if I was a gardener, I would have a maybe useful analogy here about the preparation phase that a plant goes through before it bears fruit or blooms or something like that. But I'm not a gardener, and so I'm going to stop with that analogy before I get myself in a tangle. Anyway, I think that all the phases of creating, those that come easily and those that don't, are equally important and valuable and are a part of the process. I feel strongly that one of my purposes in life is to help women who suffer as I did, because they are unhappy with their weight. And for many of you, that unhappiness will be accompanied by unhealthiness in your physical and emotional well-being, as it was for me. I believe that learning how to create a relationship with food, yourself, and your life that works for you will absolutely transform your life and may even save it. Living the past 5 years at a much lower weight than my previous decades has changed my life. It's made getting through each day easier. It's made my relationships with other people better. And it's shown me the difference between thriving in this life, which is very different to surviving it, which is what I felt I was doing when it came to how I felt on the day-to-day. And don't get me wrong, I had an amazing life. I loved many different parts of it, but there was an undercurrent of getting through, an undercurrent of feeling maybe as if I was on a bit of a treadmill and that life was hard. And I'm not saying that it never feels like that now, but it's more of the exception and not the rule. So I want you to do the exercise that I spoke about earlier. If you didn't already, and if you're not driving, and if you're able to safely, pause this episode and do that exercise now. It will only take you 10 minutes. And if you do it, if you get the podcast email, then hit reply and let me know. I'd love to hear how you got on. If you're in the Lose Weight Live Life Facebook community, come tell us that you've done it. And appreciate yourself for doing it and let us congratulate you. Okay, so there are two more things that I want to share with you on this episode. One is an invitation to the autumn 2022 My One Life Mastermind, which I will tell you about in just a moment. And then lastly, I'm going to leave you with an inspirational poem from Donna Ashworth. So the My One Life Mastermind. If you are a woman in midlife who would like to work closely with me and a very small group of like-minded ladies for 6 months to transform your relationship with food, yourself and your life, then you are invited to apply for a place on the My One Life Mastermind. The mastermind will be running from mid-November until May. And I had planned to start this month in October, but as usual, was trying to do too many things at once, and so decided instead to focus on everyone who joined My One Life Academy. And I'm so glad that I did, and I'm just so proud of those of you who joined and are showing up each week and showing me that you are truly applying what you're learning. I just want to say a massive well done to you all. I also wanted a little extra time to think about how I can help everyone who joins this mastermind, which will be the first one that I've started in more than a year, get phenomenal results. And by phenomenal results, I don't just mean that I want you to lose the weight that you want to lose, which is of course a given. What I mean is that I want you to create an amazing relationship with food, yourself, and your life. I want you to learn how to confidently eat right for you, which is having the right balance between eating for nourishment and eating for comfort and pleasure. I want you to feel the relief of knowing that you have developed the mindset, decision-making capability, and emotional skills to be able to manage your weight for life. And I want you to know that you've eliminated conflict over food choices and no longer have the weariness that comes with always thinking about what you should and should not be eating. I also want you to be free from a diet mindset and be a long way removed from the place of yo-yoing between restriction and overindulgence. I want you to have replaced shame, judgment, self-loathing and or frustration about your weight and any previous diet failures with self-confidence, self-love and inner peace. You're going to learn to accept and love yourself exactly as you are. You're also going to see amazing changes in other areas of your life too. Participants have used the mastermind programs to help them get promoted at work, improve their relationships, and also achieve other major life goals. You can also expect to improve your current and future physical health with potentially a reduced risk of type 2 diabetes, of heart disease, aches and pains, even weight-related cancers. Cancer Research UK has found that being overweight or obese is actually the second biggest cause of cancer in the UK. You can also expect to improve your emotional well-being and to be well equipped with the skills for proactive mental wellness management. You will also discover what it's like to feel amazing or just like yourself again, or even better than you ever have. You can expect to have more confidence, enjoy socialising with friends more, and enjoy shopping for clothes in different sizes. And you can also have a sense of pride, confidence and achievement, as well as maybe a little bit of relief from knowing that you did it. So how will you know if the My One Life Mastermind is for you? Well, it could be for you if you consider yourself very capable in many areas of life, but really struggle to manage your relationship with food. It's likely to be for you if you are a woman in midlife who has spent years prioritising work or family or both over taking care of yourself. It's likely to be for you if you have a sense that now is the time to focus on you, whether that is because of a looming health concern, having more capacity in your life, whether that is physical time or mental capacity, but you have more capacity than you maybe have done in recent years or decades, or it's just that you are fed up with not feeling as energized and healthy as you know that you could. Or maybe you are not enjoying your life and you know it could be so much more. And you know that your relationship with food and or your weight is a part of that. If what I'm sharing here, what I'm talking about resonates with you, then I invite you to check out all of the details by going to www.thebestyou.coach/mastermind. Then, if you think it's something that you would love to do, I invite you to apply. Small group coaching programs such as the My One Life Mastermind work best when everyone in the room, virtual and physical, has the opportunity to learn from one another, in addition to everything that you learn and that you get and the coaching support from the program and from me as your coach. So for the first time ever, I'm going to be making sure that everyone who wants to participate is fully committed, that everyone knows what to expect, and that everyone is ready to do what it takes to get the amazing results that are available to you when you follow the process and apply what you learn. I can guarantee that when you show up for yourself and others in the mastermind environment, your life will be transformed. So if you're interested, then you are invited to apply. And what we'll do is we'll have a Zoom video call where you'll get to ask me anything about the program, and we can sort of check in with one another and make sure you know exactly what to expect and what is required to get the life transformation that you want. There are a limited number of places because this is just going to be for a really small group of you. We will start on Sunday the 13th of November, and we will have an in-person day on Friday the 18th of November, and the program will run until May next year. Now, as I mentioned before, this is an all-new mastermind experience, and it is really going to be, more than you can imagine to help and support you on your weight loss journey and make it as fun and transformational and as easy as possible. If you're interested, go to www.thebestyou.coach/mastermind to check out all the details and complete the application process. Places will be reserved on a first-come, first-served basis. And I just can't wait to see who is going to be joining us. If you would like to hear from ladies who have previously done the 6-month mastermind, then do go and check out podcast episode number 51, which is called Weight Loss Stories. Okay. Lastly, as I mentioned, I want to leave you with this poem from Donna Ashworth. Whatever makes you glad to be alive, do that, whenever you can. Whatever gives your soul that lift and elevates you to a level of harmony, peace and contentment, chase it and grab it tight. Stop seeing your life as a chore to be dealt with every day and start searching for gaps to put in blissful moments of joy. Nobody said life had to be this hard. Nobody made you sign up for a daily grind so punishing you couldn't find the energy to do what makes you happy. This life is short, my friend, and each of us don't know how long we have. So let's not waste another moment of another day feeling like a prop in our own show. We are the stars. We are the show. Get out there and love your life, and if you can't, make it more lovable. Change things around. It's your life. Do whatever you need to do to get any kind of good feeling every day. And start now, right this minute. The future is promised to no one. What are you waiting for? Okay, that's it for today. Have an amazing week and take care. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and are ready to live a more intentional life, lose weight as a part of that journey, and create a relationship with food and yourself that you love, then I would be honoured to have you join the Lose Weight, Live Life Academy membership and coach with me. The programme offers different levels of support to suit you, including self-paced learning, twice weekly calls, private coaching, an amazingly caring community, and lots more. Find out all the details about when and how you can join at www.thebestyou.coach/coaching.